How about that? How about that? How about that? Everything we talk about, ill intent, violence, physicality, execution, the will to win. Just win, David.
You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
What's up, nation? This is Rafucho, as known as El Capitán Rafucho, Raf in the building, and welcome to another episode of Straight Outta Nation. No Chargers, no Broncos, no Chiefs, just Raiders, baby. And we have a late night tailgate live because right now, tomorrow and Monday is going to be between Las Vegas Raiders versus Atlanta Falcons exclusively on Monday Night Football on ESPN. And we have a special guest coming out for right now. So right now you may know as the New England Raider boosters. So right now we have a special guest. Yeah, you might know about this. So let's give it a warm welcome to this amazing episode of Straight Outta Nation. So there it is. Jeff in the motherfucking house. So how you feeling, Jeff? Because I know it's going to be something interesting. So how you feeling?
All right, how you doing?
Yep, I'm doing good right now. So first and foremost, we had to do exactly between for like the preview between Las Vegas Raiders versus Atlanta Falcons. Now we just have like Gardner Minshew out, Aiden O'Connor is out. I mean, there is like one quarterback responsible, which is Desmond Raider. And for the Atlanta Falcons, they just wanted to start with Michael Penix Jr. I mean, this one's with every day and how Kirk Cousins is going to be like the quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons, and they wanted to trust him, but he didn't really start really good enough. But, I mean, their plan for them, I mean, for better or worse, because they have to sit behind their back for the full year at least. I mean, if the Magical had the playbook and has looked at the decence on the practice, I mean, if we want to put it up there. But after what you saw for like, if they need to blow it out right now, if Desmond Ridder's on the 2-11 Raiders gonna beat the Falcons, I mean, they're gonna blow it up. Because if they're gonna win against the Falcons tomorrow, I mean, they were like at the comfort of like the playoff competition unless they gotta say everything happened. So I know there's gonna be like our main schedule predictions to go and see like the first plays at the NFL draft. But it seems that between for like the defense and the offense, I mean, unless I have it as a miracle, it's happening because after Maxx Crosby is out, I mean, there's a lot of things going to hope or there's no hope because I know there's still remaining like the defense and the offense, like the linebacker room, the wide receiver. I mean, what can it bring like between for this Monday Night Football? I mean, it can be like very crucial at all.
No, not for us. I mean, for them,
Yeah.
the Falcons are still playing for for a playoff
Mhm.
spot. So I mean, they're not going to just roll over and just let us roll over them. So they're going to be coming with everything they have. Um, I mean, there's still no definite word yet on who's starting for quarterback for us. I know that O'Connell's listed as still questionable. Um, Last I saw, he didn't practice today, so it probably won't be until like a game time decision for him. That right there is going to make the difference whether we can win or lose this game because it is a winnable game. You know,
Mhm.
our offense definitely matches up better against their defense. I would have said our defense had a shot, but now that Max isn't going to be there, the odds are now stacked against us completely at this point because they do have a pretty good offense. If Cousins is on the money, getting the ball out to those playmakers that can catch, and then with Bijan running it. So I mean, with Max not there, I mean, this is not going to be a good. I don't think we really got much of a shot at winning this. Not at all. I
Yeah,
want us to, but I don't think it's going to happen.
yeah, and of course, it seems that, well, I think there is no hold. I mean, there is no chance of it at all, but it seems that there's going to be like a little battle between for like the first plays on the draft. And after we talked about like between for the situation of Maxx Crosby, I mean, and I just thought about this because there is an information right now. So Raiders three-time Pro Bowl defensive edge Maxx Crosby, who's already been ruled out for the Monday night's game due to ankle injury, is expected to undergo a arthroscopic ankle surgery to like it will
Yep.
end this 2024 season. I mean, it might be going to be because we've been robbed to see Mads and Wilkins get a full season together. I mean, surely year two can't be worse than this. I mean, if this is like the perfect opportunity to get what is done. I mean, they get that a change. I mean, they got a lot of sparkle. I mean, the timing change, coming back stronger. I mean, that Maxx Crosby, he got hurt for the last of the play of week two. The only player who played who were doubtful coming off of the game, he really missed a snap. And he made like it all the way to the week 15 to the 2-11 team. No one should ever question that man. I mean, there's gonna be like the better time to reheal at least the Kimberly at the rest of the talent to once again reload for the next year. But I mean, let's finally address like an injury since there's no really to benefit to win any more games. I mean, there is no sense to risk it as hell when the team should.
No,
I mean, this is gonna be like the ones for the worst seasons for the injuries that I really remember. Because if he's one of the 100% healthy, I mean, that I just saw between for the left Maxx Crosby injury, I mean, basically, it's gonna be like a good timing because I know that the season is basically over. I mean, let Mets rest of it to get healthy. After the surgeries are starting to worry. I mean, they didn't have surgery last off season as well because I know that he was like, I don't think he's getting injuries and surgeries. Has been serious stuff. They declared for the death one, but I just wanted to need to like for the next season. I just wanted to reunite Maxx Crosby and Christian Wilkins to give like
yeah,
joy to give him back to the Raider Nation.
yeah. I mean, him going out now is a good thing, I guess, because if you wait until the end of the season completely, obviously it's
Mhm.
affected him enough to the point where he's saying, let's get the surgery done now. It starts the healing process for him sooner, so he's ready by OTAs and he's back 100% comes next season. Because you don't want him possibly hobbled next year going into the season because we'll be in the same situation where he already missed one game this year, which he normally doesn't miss games, but he did miss one this year already. Excuse me.
Mm.
He did miss one
Yeah.
already this year. And this is killing him not being out there to play because I mean this is a guy that just likes playing the game, you know. But it would be nice comes next year he's back 100%. Wilkins is back 100%. Um, who knows what's going to happen with Kuntz, how he comes back from his injury if we bring him back, because I believe he is a free agent at the end of the season. So I mean, do we bring him back for like a short-term shot to see how he does during the off season? During training camp, so having a healthy 100% Maxx Crosby is essential to this team. Just knows who he's about. I mean, he's the
Mm.
the heartbeat of this team.
Yeah, I mean exactly. I mean, let some young guys to get some reps that are getting shut down. That would be good for the opening
True.
day in the season. hmm But I mean, there's no there's no point of return. I mean, they're trying to get ready for the next year. I mean, they're gonna take the field. They're gonna shine like a rookie quarterback on the team, and we just wanted to take it over for like this comments right here. Say, as we go on, Robert Pena, salute to you. Also, Robert Pena has the one question for like all for like those content creators that we just saw for this one to say, do you guys want to Antonio Pierce to return? Now, between for like question for Antonio Pierce, I mean, I'm not really sure because everyone just wanted to expect it to be like I'm just like I don't know, some bad. I mean, there are so many off the field issues that we had to the fired. I mean, it just became like so horrible having the head coach duties that it's just not that really like the answer for all the issues. Because if you remember, when Dan Campbell was there as a new head coach for the Detroit Lions, just like a few seasons ago, I mean, he just had like the worst record. And now he just became like some of the most interesting head coaches through for like the coach energy. I mean, the defense, the quarterback. And it seems that Antonio Pierce didn't pay attention for like to Dan Campbell's playbook. I mean,
Yeah,
the blueprint. I mean, basically, it's just gonna be like another Tom Cable. I mean, he's just like at a rah loud mouth. I mean, he became like an entering tank and a permanent job. I mean, he also he really had it off of the field issue, just like Mayor and Pierce was basically implicated for the like the Plaxico Burris. I mean, he was getting like the permanent gig working at Albert Correction because they just passed an interim Rich Piscaccia and Howard Josh Montanus and their premise in the backfire spectacularly. I mean, isn't that the greatest one? Because it's gonna be like a really wild. Because if you remember, as a Raider fans, because if you grew up in the Raiders and the 2000, 2010, I mean the coaching since 2003, it's pretty wild and retrospective because they have Dennis Allen, Tom Cable, Lane Kiffin. I mean, wow, that was just like a. I know that I'm not messy about greater to the song, but it seems that it's not that pretty wrong for the Mills in terms like the coaching, because I know because they just wanted to get him back, like get an attention because we want to see like coach as a leader, a man with great discipline. But it seems that after all for these issues, after all for like those seasons, I mean, I don't think that Antonio Pugh should be like the answer. But if the people want to see like it on 1 year, I would expect it about that because I'm pretty sure that Antonio Pierce could be happening like the blueprint of Dan Campbell if he wants to succeed. Because right now it seems that after all the injury reports, after bad quarterbacks, I mean, there's no communication at all. Because I think it's too early to have it
yeah,
like the worst at all. I mean, not to say it's gonna be anything close, but we just start like at the worst of the first year because I don't believe it's gonna be like at the early to make it like with adjustments because I know it's gonna be like really crazy. But it seems that like the Scream Bears, I mean, who's got a battle this year? I mean, what can happen right now? I mean, it's gonna be like a really realistic or putting like a time management. I mean, he became like something about for the worse. But I don't want it to see like to get another year for Antonio Pierce if he wants to get like this ready to get involved as a head coach.
yeah. I know people keep bringing up the Dan Campbell thing too, but you can remember
hmm
Dan Campbell had a little bit more prior history of coaching in the NFL.
hmm
You know, he was an interim coach in Miami for a while. He had been you know, another assistant style coach and such, whereas AP really didn't have a lot of that NFL experience in the coaching ranks prior to coming over to the Raiders. Um, as far as do I want to see AP go, I'm not in favor of getting rid of him. But if we do, the only way I would be okay with it or it wouldn't bother me as much is if the replacement is somebody like Vrabel. Anybody else I really wouldn't be in favor of at that point, might as well just stick with AP. Um, I would like to see Vrabel come in, and I'm sure Dayball's going to get fired from the Giants at the end of the season, if not soon. You know,
mm
you could bring him in as your OC. I'm fine with keeping
Yeah.
Graham as our DC because I think he's doing a heck of a job with what he's got to work with. I mean, his defensive players have just been riddled with injuries this year, so I'm fine with him staying. And the only other coach that I would want to see stay out of the current regime now would be Philbin, because what he's done since he took over as the offensive line coach has been phenomenal compared to how these guys are playing after Getsy got canned and Greg. How much
Mm,
that offensive line has changed. So those are the only two coaches. If AP gets canned, those are the only two coaches I wouldn't mind seeing, left in place. But I would definitely be for Vrabel.
yeah,
Now with
yeah.
that.
Yeah, I really thought about that. But speaking about like Brian the Ball, I mean, how did the people get interested about him? Because after New York Giants, they want to get out. I mean, it seems that they just wanted to simulate like the online to get Alvarez should play one season. I mean, people have a lot for the negatives for like the showing or like Brian the Ball. I mean, they just have like a discovery reports for our QA system. And he just slightly better for what to see for like the end of the season. But it seems that they have like a buy signings, like joining up for like the draft class and
Mhm.
everything. But I mean, it's not really that perfect. And he made like bad decisions. I mean, to the people not dedicated to the coach, I mean, of between for the case of Ryan the Ball, I mean, yeah, squeezing the most juice out, pause, or this lemon out of the roasting that most coaches will be. I mean, if you wanted to, might criticize the play calling about like Brian DeBall with the Giants. I mean, especially when it took over Capitán play calling, but he's making like the praise to improvise for like a quarterback who simply cannot sling down at the field. It turns out like the number one receiver, and just an imagine because especially those quarterbacks have played at most of his career with a bad coach. We were actually winning like the football games. I mean, the fact that over the last years, I mean, there's something about like the coaching. I mean, it's not that real perfect by any means, but it seems that they have some very bad decisions. But to say it of it should be like pretty much they have not ended the season with some two, three, or four wins. I mean, but I think that between for like the coaching system and the quarterback has got other problems because he got like a heavily solid starts in the past, but as a backups because we just ended up like between for like the worst. But it seems that now I understand why we look terrible coming out for like every year because especially after we just saw for like an 10 years as an interim head coach. I mean, things are getting really well, and we're almost getting there for the playoffs against the Indianapolis Colts. But unfortunately, between for like the season as a full-time coach, I mean, it's not that real good looking because it's more that the coaching system. I mean, they're going to have like some throws to check downs. I mean, that's kind of like a tradition of the practice because it's not going to be like a high enough stress environment, but also they can seem to like afraid of.
Plus, I mean, with Dable, I know people are going to look at the current, his current coaching track as far as his time with the Giants wasn't the best. He had his like the first year or 2 years they looked good. Um, but you got to remember where he came from.
Mhm.
He was in Buffalo. He's pretty much the one responsible for why Josh Allen is the way he is
Mm,
now. That he's the one that found that hidden talent in that kid and really lit him up and made him change some of his ways. And look at him now. I mean, this kid should be the MVP this year. Um, and then you look at his time that he spent in New England as the tight ends coach. He was in New England as a tight ends coach during the time that they had Gronk and they had Hernandez.
exactly.
Look at look at our situation in Las Vegas. We've got Bowers, who's as close to Gronk, and then you get Michael Mann. Not saying he's at the same caliber as Hernandez, but he could be, or he could come close. Gronkowski's even said that Bowers is going to be better than him. For Gronk to recognize that, unless he's just being super nice, but I don't think he's smart enough to be super nice because he's a big dumb animal, Gronk. But you got to look at what he did there in New England with those two guys and how prolific they were as a tandem tight end. And again, you look at our situation with the right other playmakers
Yeah,
around
yeah,
them, it could be completely the same situation where it could be extremely successful. And I definitely think Brock Bowers has got the potential to be as good as Gronk, if not better. I mean, he's already shown it in his rookie year.
mm,
The true test will
yeah,
be see how he comes out next year.
yeah. I mean, exactly. Also, there is on face what it over here. They say Antonio Pierce is very outmatched by the West Division coaches. I mean, Andy Reid, Jim Harbaugh, Sean Payton, they're way much experienced. And on
Oh
faces
my God,
face
yeah.
said, yep, AP will be playing catch for over these years. We need to do way better at head coach. And I agree with that. I agree. All right. So right now there's like another question for Robert Pena. I know he stays a little bit later on this late night tailgate show to say, what do you want to draft? I mean, I know there's a lot of Raider fans that just wanted to go like to the best position at all because during for like this, I mean, we have like worst quarterbacks with no accuracy. I mean, after the whole disaster of Gardner Minshew, I mean, Nathan O'Connor, right now there is Desmond Raider. It seems that, well, the battle of the quarterback class is getting involved for like a lot of this because
Mhm.
I know during for like the 2023 class of quarterback, they just had like JJ McCarthy, Jaden Daniels, Michael Penix Jr. I mean, there's Bo Nitz. And between for like the quarterback class, they have Ken Ward, Dylan Gabriel, Shador Sanders. Also, there's Travis Hunter. But it seems that, well, Raiders they just wanted to battle between for like the first place in the draft. And just and they just wanted to seriously about for like Shador Sanders. But it seems that well, between for the Giants and the Raiders, they just wanted to battle to who's going to be drafted. I mean, it's going to be between Shador Sanders or Cam Ward. But I just wanted to feel that we just wanted to get like really available. I mean, what happened with Ashton Genty? I mean, Dylan Gabriel. I mean, who else is going to happen with this one? I mean, I know that New York Giants had at the first position, and for us, we are at the second position, which is 2 and 11. I mean, basically, I mean, let's just wanted to get involved like the best quarterback position that would just happen. I mean, this is like we wanted to get into it. I mean, if we want Shador Sanders, I mean, if we want something to take care about like more accuracy, more speed, and of course, more intentions to attack. I mean, probably, I mean, if we want to say like the first draft pick, I mean, it's gonna be like a more than enough. I mean, we just wanted to need like a quarterback. I mean, Brock Bowers failed to us not because of a lack of the talent, but teams know the quarterback is priority number one. Even Falcons, they just wanted to pay after Cousins. I mean, Hunter has
Yeah.
a tremendous talent, but if there is a chance to get the quarterback of the future, we have to take that. I mean, the point, I mean, what it's going to look at isn't it the guy to capitalize on his turnovers and breakups. I mean, it all depends how deep is the quarterback class is realistically. Because if we're pretty desperate for a quarterback, and who knows who's going to be picked as high again, because I would love to see a drafting between Cam Ward or Shador Sanders. Because if we ended off at the number one, because if we want to take like the upside productive quarterback with a chip on his shoulder, I mean, they're gonna be like more talent player on the draft. I mean, he'll be like expended for the number one pick in a role, and it seems there's not gonna be like real same. I mean, it's gonna be happen.
Who you want Ward or Sanders is who you're saying for yourself. That's who you want us to take.
Yeah. I just wanted to Cam Ward for the Raiders if Shador Sanders isn't available. So I know that Shador Sanders is the first option, but if Shador Sanders is not available, I mean, I will take it like they can work because that happens.
Yeah, I'm not
Mm,
even. I don't want either one of them. I want Hunter.
mm,
If we finish with the
yeah.
number one, we take Hunter because my honest opinion, the way I've thought through the process and have actually put it out there on some of my shows and some of the other shows I've been on as guest, the way I look at it is if you draft either one of those two quarterbacks with your first pick in the draft in the first round, it's a wasted pick. You lose value automatically for that pick because neither one of them are going to start next year. O'Connell's going to be a starter going into next year, unless for some reason we pull in a veteran, but I
Mhm.
doubt it. Why would we spend the money if we don't have to? O'Connell should be a quarterback going into 2025. Whoever we get as a rookie quarterback is going to sit for a year. So that is why I say
Oh,
it's a wasted pick. Okay. Whereas Travis Hunter, he's going to start from day one. So when OTAs open up, he's coming in as your number one wide receiver without a doubt. when the regular training camp opens, he's still going to be your number one receiver. Jacoby's going to be your number two. With O'Connell starting, so there's your main offensive right there. Those two. Then you got Bowers and Mayer. And then what you do is if you take Hunter with that first pick, you watch after you make the pick, you see where teams look like they're going in the rest of the first round, leading up towards closer to the 10th pick. And then you do what you can to get back into that first round, because those two quarterbacks will be gone by the time it gets to around pick 8 or 9. You try your best to get back into that first round by offering up your 2026 first
Exactly.
round pick and the third round pick from the Devontae Adams trade earlier this season.
Exactly.
So you move back into the first round closer to number 10, and you take the best available, whether it's running back, offensive line, or defensive end. That's what you do with that. And then
Yeah.
in the second round is where you grab your quarterback of the future, because that's where you're going to get your access to Dylan Gabriel, Jackson Dart. Those guys will still be there by the second round. If they're not, I'll be fucking surprised, because in the first round, the only two quarterbacks that should go is Ward or Sanders, and I really don't even think Sanders is even worthy of a top 10 pick. That's how down I am on him. I just don't trust him. So
Yeah, I
that's
feel
how
like
I
that,
think it should
but
go. And
hmm
then before the draft, you're going to be looking at free agency. You want to bring in a running back to groom them. Najee Harris is a free agent at the end of the season. You bring him in to groom McCormick and whoever you draft, because you're going to draft a running back. There's too many. There's some good ones in this draft. You draft a running back. You have Najee Harris, mentor McCormick, and whoever your rookie running back is. You get your quarterback in the second round. So when the start of the season comes next year, again, AOC is your starting quarterback. You've got Hunter. You've got Jacoby Myers. You got Brock Bowers. You got Michael Mayer. Then you've got Najee Harris as your starting running back. You got a 1-2 punch with the backups between McCormick and whoever it is your rookie. You spend the rest of your draft going for offensive line and defensive backs, and you fix that front line on the two guards, because the two guards is where you need the help. Your right tackle and Glaze is fine. Your center's awesome. And if you still have Colton Miller, he's fine on the left unless he's really starting to show that he's got some serious wear and tear on him. That's your offense going into next year. And I think it's a damn good offense, because your defense doesn't need as much attention as you think it does, because you got a lot of returning pieces coming back. And don't
yeah,
forget, we got a lot of money in free agency, and we got a lot of free agents that we need to figure out what we're going to do with them. So
yeah,
that's my
yeah,
feeling. That's my
yeah,
thought.
exactly. I mean, exactly. All right, so there is my opinion to say, and I've been saying as well that I live in Denver, Colorado, and I haven't watched this kind of the Hunter live, and I want to his Raider Jeff. Yep, and I'm facing to say trade back and take Drew Aller. I mean, they're gonna be really happening at all, but I know that when you do look at it with diligence, you're gonna be looking at the same page. I mean, imagine trying like to fit around like at a pet square by drafting a quarterback who doesn't have the skill set to succeed in our scheme. I mean, doesn't have the skills to achieve what we're trying to do as an offense. I mean, how badly the player can fall to force to try it into the play the scheme if they don't have the skill yet for what is wrong. I mean, I feel like they offer the trade down over here, but if you're coming after like 2 wins and 50 loses, you need more than just a quarterback. You need all the help that you get it. I mean, it's gonna be there's I don't think it's gonna be a way to trade for a one. I mean, there is 95% of the chance if it won't be. Because if they want to see like a really competitive whoever we draft, I mean, they just wanted to keep it real. I mean, if we
Yeah.
wanted to whatever he wants, I mean, we basically because they got the influence to show off at the off season and besides have to like nothing happened to coach for everything. I mean, passing off like the choice of the franchise quarterback, I mean the potential one, because I know that they have like one of those best. I mean, they have it really tough enough because I mean, go ahead like at the dimension because it seems that we've been learning about for these years, and this that well, every player who won the Heisman Trophy has a stellar NFL career. If you remember Charles Woodson winning the Heisman Trophy, it became so stellar because I know he carried out like the Oakland Raiders a few years ago, and then he was changing it off for the Green Bay Packers. But it seems that if we want to get like a quarterback, it doesn't really how many good players we have, because I know if we want to true like the best, I mean, we're gonna be like a really defensive, because I know it pertains like the talent, the accuracy, the speed, and of course the production, because the production is gonna be like so much important besides for everything.
Separator, Paul. Yeah. It,
Right,
I
Paul,
just think
salute to you.
the best bang for your buck is Hunter.
Mhm.
If you want true value for that number one pick that's going to be effective immediately, that's the way to go. If you want to just sit back and wait a year and pray to God that he's going to be the answer of the future of this team, using a number one pick, which is obviously one of the most valuable things you can possibly have in the NFL, that's a big ask in my eyes. I think that's a lot. You know, you got to remember too the talent that he played against in Colorado. He's not playing against Alabama all the time. Teams like Alabama, Georgia, Texas. It's not the same talent. It's not the same
Mhm.
toughness or toughness of
Yeah.
schedule. It's a completely different beast. You know, just like is Genty really the real deal based on teams that he's played? I know he's played some top-notch teams and everything. I get it. I'm not knocking his ability. The kid is definitely good, you know, but I wouldn't stake a first round pick on Shador or Cam Ward. Cam Ward more than Shador, to be honest with you.
Mm,
So now what happens if we take Sanders in the first round and for some reason we are forced to put him in next year and he is just god awful, just horrible? What do you think's gonna happen? People are gonna be screaming for, "Why did we pick him? We should have taken this guy
yeah.
instead." You know that's gonna happen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
if that happens, you know that fans are gonna sit there and start complaining right away, and then they're gonna if AP's still here, they're gonna be even more down his throat why he needs to go. There's just so many different directions that we can go with this. The sticking point is Telesco. He's not known as a guy that likes to move around the draft board. He gets his pick, he likes to stick with it. This team needs as much draft equity as possible. We need as many bodies coming out of this draft to be brought in for OTAs and training camp to see where we can fit them best into this giant puzzle that we have that's missing a shit ton of
Mhm.
pieces. You know, this is the chance to get those pieces that are missing from that jigsaw puzzle that this team is. You know, so it's a big deal. This is probably one of the most vital drafts that I've seen for this team in as long as I can remember, to be honest with you. We
Mhm.
blew it once on a quarterback in the first round, and that was Jamarcus Russell. And I don't want to see us fall into that same rut again, because this has potential to be the same situation, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
Hunter is just too good of a talent to pass up. I'm sorry. And it's not even a
Yeah.
fact that he won even if he didn't win
Mhm.
the Heisman Trophy, I still would be, I was saying it before the Heisman voting was even done. I mean, I've been saying this for few weeks now.
Mhm.
That's who I think we should draft, and we shouldn't be drafting either one of those other two.
Yeah,
But
I
again,
mean,
that's just my
exactly.
thought.
Mhm. Yeah, I really understand, because it seems that, well, it's gonna be like a really tough enough to see. All right, so before we're gonna wrap this out, because right now we gotta take like this moment to, well, to get involved a lot of the things going on for the Monday, because I know it's gonna be like at a late night tailgate. So
Thanks,
there was
Robert.
one question. Yeah, I know it's gonna be a little one question that we just left around this. So after we just saw like during for all for the season, there is one player who became like so much powerful, and we just saw like this is the right choice to draft it. I mean, he became something like a generational talent at the tight end. And we're just talking about like Brock Bowers. I mean, it seems that he became like a monster, a beast. He got more production than Travis Kelce, Sam Laporta. Also, there's Mark Andrews. It seems that all for the first years, he just broke a lot of records, not only for the franchise but also for the league. I mean, he just made like very impressive to like a one-hand catch. I mean, the possible value. I mean, he looks absolutely, because he got great talent.
Hmm.
And for other teams that say this guy's gonna be like a really problem. but it seems that it's gonna be like a really menace to all. Because for me, I mean, there's gonna be so much incredible for the next 5 years, and he turned out. He turned out. I mean, after we just saw it like at the first place in our gender to see another tight end, that's not gonna be possible. But we just saw like a routine for like the highlights and Discovery Report of Brock Bauer to say this is the biggest session that we just want to get involved. I mean, this is exactly what we need it for. And I mean, the generational talent of Brock Bowers, he just became really phenomenal. I mean, 10 catches, more than 140 yards. I mean, they just wanted to get the set record for most receptions as a rookie. I mean, that's gonna be like a really insane. I mean, it could be like a really dumb for that, but it seems that there's one reason that we just have like a more talent of a fellow like the retired end. I mean, that's getting crazy.
Yeah, I mean with Brock Bowers, I mean when we picked him at number 13, I was happy with it because I knew what we were getting with him. I'd seen him, quite a few games that I did see at Georgia because they were always on TV around
Mhm.
here anyway. Um, I mean, I knew we had a gem in that kid if we used them right. Um, as far as what he's done so far this year has been phenomenal. I mean, I expected him to be good. I didn't expect him to be as good as he is. I didn't think I thought based on what we had for weapons and what we were doing at quarterback, he was going to have a good year, but not like this, not even close. I mean, he's already broke the receiving record for number of catches in a year by a rookie. He's only 100 and change away from breaking Ditka's record, which has stood for over what 60 something years now. Since that record was in place. So he's getting there. He was until this past week's games was the number one receiving player as far as catches go in the entire season. He's dropped down to like number like 7 or 8 now. But
Mm,
again, Jamar Chase had 14 catches last week. I don't know what he had today, but he's Jamar Chase is at 101 now. So he's 14 catches over Brock Bowers right now as we speak. So he just made a huge jump. Kelsey's ahead of him. Oh no, Kelsey's just behind him by like 3.
yeah.
Um, there was a tight end that moved past him
Mm,
today. Terry
yeah, I
McBride.
really think so.
Yeah, Terry McBride passed
Yeah,
him today.
yeah, yeah. They just passed.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, Jamar Chase actually has 102. Then you got Amon Ross St. Brown has 95. CeeDee Lamb's got 94. Neighbors has 90. McBride has 89, and Brock's got 87. So, I mean, and again,
Mm,
he still has to play tomorrow night. So even if he gets another 10 catch night, that moves him right back up to number 2 again. You know, so I mean, I think he's going to break that receiving yardage record with no problem. Again, we still got 4 more games to go. You know,
yeah, I mean, exactly. And I know this is gonna be like something like really incredible. I mean, the Titans have a lower year after like it feels because Alfred is getting changing at all. I mean, it seems that he's getting like a really getting more. I mean, it's gonna be like a phenomenon, the game changer. I mean, he got like the total package. I mean, pause. I mean, I know that the tight ends became like something really important about like the production, and everybody just got the thought because they're talking about it's getting crazy and weird, but he really felt that he just balled out. I mean, he just showed out of the promise and you can start it for the right way. But they were changing for everything for like it's good enough. I mean, I know between for like some of the defense, some of the other teams were just getting terrible against tight ends all season, but he was getting ready to have it in the big game. I mean, he was doing it at all, but I cannot really see with the somewhat really confident like the defense, the offense, and starting quarterback for the next years. And right now, I just wanted to tell you thanks for joining us for this special interview. This is a
yeah,
special
no problem.
episode of Yep. This is a special episode of Straight Out Nation. There is a late night tailgate with my boy, New England Radio Booster. So right now, where can we find you on the social media to saw like live reactions or something like that?
Yeah, if you go to let me bring the link up here. I can throw it in there.
Oh yes, oh yes. There is a link right here. So there is a link.
Yeah. If you go, yeah, there's that, and then if you go to the link tree link, that'll bring up all our social media platforms that we have. I'm trying to find it. I just had it, and now I can't. I've been saving it so I don't lose it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it'll bring you to everything. We got a YouTube page. We have a TikTok, uh, X, Instagram,
Mhm.
Facebook group. You name it, we're on it. We've got a website too that's in there too. That's part of that link.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Also, you can follow me on Twitter as Noah Sats, Instagram as Capitán Rafucho, and of course, you can subscribe on my YouTube channel, which is Capitán Rafucho. All right, so salute to everybody else on the chat. Salute to Face.
Yes.
Also, there is, yep, there it is. The New
Yep.
England Weather Boosters, where they came here. So there it is, folks. All right, so salute to Face, Robert Pena, Robert Paul, also for doing like a contribution for the chats. Also salute to Loki Ball, also Johnny, Natasha Gonzalez. I mean, they're all very great. And of course, I will see you there for the next episode of Straight Outta Nation. So this is like basically like a 100% Raiders podcast without Chargers, without Chiefs, without Broncos. So I just wanted to tell you, just win, baby, just like Al Davis. And of course, we just really hope for the next season. We just wanted to build it better. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to tell you, have a great night, have a great Monday, and of course, see you there next time. So, peace out, and let's go Raiders.